not going to get offended in this truth, in the correction, right? But anyway, let's keep reading. Yahweh Shai, he would get pissed when they didn't understand what he was saying, or when he noticed that they didn't understand the breakdowns or the parables. It would irritate him, you know. Verse 18, having eyes. I'm sorry, I'm further down than that. He said, do you not remember when I break the 5 loaves among 5,000? How many baskets full of fragments took ye up? They say unto him, 12. And when the 7 among the 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said, 7. And he says, how is it that ye do not understand? So he would get pissed off. He was irritated. You see? So let's keep reading. Verse 22. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes, and put his hands on them, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up, and he said, I see men as trees walking. All right? And men as trees walking, this shows you that, you know, in the story of Genesis, you know, you can precept this right here, because the men are actually, that's what they are. They're in Genesis, they're trees. Okay, you know, just that tree, that forbidden tree that you know, Eve took the bite of the fruit of the tree of knowledge. It was actually talking about men. It was, you know, it was that serpent that was leading her astray, right? And we know the serpent is Esau, Edom. But anyway, verse 25. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes, and he made him look up, and he was restored and saw every man clearly. And he sent him away of his house, saying, neither go into the town nor tell it to any other in the town, right? Because Yahweh Shai, hey, he knew how to move. He was moving like wise as a serpent. He would perform a miracle, but he would usually charge people, like, hey, don't say what happened, or don't tell them who I am, or don't tell them my name. You know? And that's how it is. I went on that subject. You know, when you don't want to just teach anybody in this truth and this knowledge of ours, you want to make sure you're teaching it to men who are faithful men who can commit. You commit yourself to faithful men who can teach others, is what is written. You know, you don't just give it to Joe Blow or anybody up the street. You know, it's got to be somebody who you would sincerely believe is the elect, and you would, you know, like giving your channel, things like that. You don't just give your channel to anybody, you know. So Yahweh Shai, he would move wisely like that. He would charge people to say, hey, don't say shit about what just happened, you know. The same fashion, you know, we should move in that same wisdom when, you know, like you might teach somebody who you may have a hunch could be of the elect because of their questions and because of their sincerity, but it's always good to, you know, test them, not just say, oh yeah, here's my channel. You know what I mean? You don't want to be doing all that. Verse where are we at? Verse 20. Oh yeah, you tell a woman she can't have your channel, you don't tell. As the man, women can't handle rejection, yeah. And especially women, brothers, you really don't want to be giving your channel to these women out here, you know. And verse 26, and he sent him away to his own house, saying, neither go into the town nor tell it to any in the town. So, you know, Yahweh Shai was like, hey, just shut the fuck up, don't say nothing, you know. 27, and Yahweh Shai went out and his disciples into the towns of Caesarea Philippi. And by the way, he asked his disciples, saying unto them, whom do men say that I am? Right? Because here's another proof. This is another scripture to back up reincarnation. Okay? Because we know Yahweh Shai was talking about who they say I am, because what? The disciples understood reincarnation. right? Yahweh Shai knew reincarnation. That's why he was saying, why would you ask a question like that? Whom do men say that I am? Because who am I from the past, right? Verse 28. And they answered, John the Baptist, but some say Elias, and others one of the prophets, meaning those people were saying they understood reincarnation. They're not as dumbed down and as degenerate as the people in Babylon, America, who think there's no reincarnation, right? During the time of Yahweh Shai, there were a lot of people who understood reincarnation. And that's why they would say, that's why we're reading what we're reading here. They said, oh, we think he's one of the prophets, which that's the correct answer. One of the prophets, the chief prophet, the chief priest, right? Verse 29. And he saith unto them, but whom say ye that I am? And Peter answereth and saith unto him, thou art the Hamashiach. And he charged them that they should tell no man of him. And there he is again, telling people, hey, you got to move wisely in this truth, man. You got to tell people, like, you might teach somebody something, but you got to tell them, hey, this is between you and I. And really, if you don't know that person, you don't trust that person, you don't even go there, man. Because remember, all they're going to do, if they're not of the elect, all they're going to do is use it against you, which, if you're one of the Lord's prophets, when people do that, the Lord's going to, put them accountable. Verse 31, and he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and of the scribes and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. And he spake that saying openly, and Peter took him and began to rebuke him. But when he turned about and looked on his disciples, he rebuked Peter, saying, get thee behind me, Satan, for thou savorest not the things that be of the Most High, but the things that be of men. See, so Yahushua is telling the disciples, like, hey, he was telling them about that he would be killed, he'd be put to death, he'd be, he knew that the Roman government was going to take him into subjection and, eventually crucify him. And Peter is in the wrong mindset right here, because Peter's saying, like, oh, no, that ain't going to happen to you, Yahushua. Verse 32, Peter began to rebuke Yahushua, and that pissed off Yahushua to the point where he called Peter Satan, Because why? Because he knew the will of the Father Yahweh. I'm talking about Yahushua. So he knew that he was to be killed. He knew it was put to be a living sacrifice, the perfect sacrifice, right? The sacrificial lamb. And when Peter was acting foolish, was when he's saying that, oh, that's not going to happen. You're going to be here forever. Because why? Peter's going off. The prophecy would be that Yahushua would be that living sacrifice. So to the point where even in his speaking on his own death, think about that. If somebody was like, just think about what we just read. Yahushua over here telling his disciples he's going to die. And you got one guy, Peter, saying that, hey, it ain't going to happen, And that pissed Yahushua off, because even though it's speaking of his own death, he was like, hey, he knew the prophecy. He knew what had to be fulfilled, because he is the light. He is the life. He is the truth in the flesh, Yahushua. So you see, and that's the same thing with us. When we talk to people out on the streets, and they might have a few things where they're saying sound doctrine or breaking things down correctly. But as soon as someone goes off, as soon as anyone goes off, they're going to get rebuked. Like if somebody says, oh, there's not going to be no Jacob's trouble. Man, shut your ass up. Sit your ass down. You're done talking. Things like that. You can't say things just because they sound good. If it's written that Jacob's trouble is going to come to pass, then you best believe you better be out there preaching and teaching that Jacob's trouble is going to come to pass. All right, you can't just change the words up just to keep an audience or just to comfort people with lies. See, verse 34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Right? So Yahweh Shai is saying, hey, if you want to be in this knowledge and this truth, guess what? You're going to have to deny yourself. You're going to have to make sacrifices. Take up your own cross, which cross means burden. Take up your own burden and follow Yahweh Shai, right? Do the will of Yahweh, because that's what Yahweh Shai did, the will of Yahweh. He didn't do his own will. Verse 35, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake in the gospels, the same shall save it, right? So if you have like, oh, I got a wife, I'm not going to follow Yahweh Shai, I'm not going to be in a camp, I'm not going to, I'm not going to worry about the truth, or you got to, what are those examples? There's a scripture that where one man bought some land. He's like, oh, I got to go check out the land that I bought. I got to go test the land. One guy said he had to go bury his father, and one guy said he had just got married. He couldn't do it. You got to leave straight away when this knowledge. If you're the elect, when you hear this knowledge, this truth, the elect are gonna just like get up straight away and follow Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and that'll be your new passion. And yeah, you're gonna keep balance, but you don't just put this thing off. You don't put the truth on the back burner for nothing. Right? So you got to lose your life sometimes. You got to lose things in your life. You got to lose, you know what I mean? There's things you got to lose and sacrifice, to really be, fervent and on fire for this knowledge. Verse 36, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Right? Is it going to be worth it if you gain things on the carnal side in Esau's kingdom? Or is it going to be worth it, to make yourself a living sacrifice and do the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? Or would you rather lose your soul like these celebrities, like what's his name, P. Diddy? They got him looking all stupid now. He's under one of them shaming rituals, which Esau Edom. Yeah, you might have fame and fortune and women and all these things, of the flesh. But when your time's up with Esau, he's going to put that shame ritual on you, especially if you're an Israelite. Verse 37, or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. So you don't want to do the work. You don't want to proclaim the true names. You don't want to offend people. So you still call the Messiah Jesus just because you don't want to offend the Christians around you. That ain't the right spirit. The Lord's he's gonna be ashamed of you when it's time for deliverance. You ashamed of the true names. You ashamed of the true doctrine. You have a woman and she wants to go to the Catholic Church, so you just follow her into death. Because that's what these churches are. Here in Babylon, these American churches, whether it's a Catholic church, a Jehovah's Witness church, or Kingdom Hall, whether it's the mosque, whether it's the all these freedom of religions that Babylon offers. If you're not in the truth, in the fold of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, well, guess what? You're just in a graveyard. There's no life in those churches, man. And if you don't get in line with the truth, you say you want to be spiritual, you say you want to follow Yahweh Shai, well then get in order, do the things that the elect will be doing, right? You can't call yourself the elect, but yet you're not doing anything that the scriptures says the elect would be doing in these last days. You see? You're ashamed of the true names? Well, guess what? You're not of the elect. You don't want to, you're afraid to tell your woman about the truth because you're afraid she'll leave you. Well, guess what? You're not of the elect. Real men are gonna prioritize the knowledge and the truth first. You see? And that's one of the things this truth teaches you, to be a real man, right? So I'm going to go ahead and close out. It's getting a little late. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Shalom to the elect.